Have you ever made a mistake so big you thought you could never be forgiven? Well, one day, Jesus told a story about a son who did just that. But what happened next changed how people saw God's love forever. One day, Jesus was surrounded by two kinds of people. There were the tax collectors and sinners, people whom everyone despised. And there were the religious teachers, called Pharisees, who were upset that Jesus welcomed those sinners. They whispered among themselves, "Look at him. He eats with those people." Jesus heard their complaints. So, to show them what God's love is really like, he told them this story, the story of the prodigal son. "A man had 2 sons," Jesus began. One day, the younger son came to his father and said, "Father, give me my share of the inheritance now." His older brother gasped, "Have you no shame?" But the father agreed. He divided his wealth between his 2 sons. Not long after, the younger son packed his bags, left home, and went to a distant land. There, he spent all his money on parties and wild living, until one day, everything was gone. A terrible famine struck. The young man grew hungry, desperate. He found work feeding pigs, but he was so hungry, he wished he could eat the pigs' food. That's when he realized, even my father's servants have food to spare, and here I am starving. I'll go back to my father and say, "Father, I've sinned against heaven and against you. I'm no longer worthy to be called your son. Make me like one of your hired servants." And so, with a broken heart, he started his long journey home. While he was still far away, his father saw him coming. He ran to his son, arms wide open. He hugged him tightly and kissed him. The son began his speech, "Father, I've sinned. I'm not worthy to be your son." But the father interrupted, shouting with joy, "Quick, bring the best robe. Put a ring on his hand and sandals on his feet. Let's have a feast and celebrate. For my son was dead and is alive again. He was lost and is found." And the whole house was filled with music and dancing. But the older brother was angry. "I've served you all these years and never disobeyed, yet you never gave me a party." The father looked at him with love and said, "My son, you are always with me, and everything I have is yours. But we had to celebrate, because your brother was lost and now is found." When Jesus finished, the crowd grew quiet. Some began to smile. Others wiped their tears. They understood now. God's love isn't about who deserves it. It's about grace. No matter how far we've gone, God's arms are always open, because in His eyes, no one is too lost to be found.